Hello, everybody. I am Varnika, senior analyst with Twimbit, and today we're doing a joint session with Suman here, who's the CEO and founder of Finin. So, welcome, Suman. I think it's a great uh, day to have a money talk with you on the rise of neobanks. So, let me start and by giving a context in lot of my conversations with industry leaders and while I was working on neobanking as a rising future of banking topic, uh, everybody gets often confused about what is virtual bank, what are neobanks, and what are digital only banks. So why don't you debunk this myth today and tell us that what exactly neobanks are?
Hey, Vanika, thanks, and it's really nice getting on a webinar with you. And thanks for hosting this thing, joining this webinar. Neobanks, I say it's more busting the myth or more busting the fad, because as you know that neobanks everywhere in India, especially. I don't know whether it is because of the previous success of neobanks in previous success of neobanks in Europe, or I don't know why, but there is a fad and there is myth and there is a lot of hype and follow on neobanks, right?
Right.
So banks, they use a lot of kind of banks here, neobanks, virtual banks, digital only banks, and you forgot few like challenger banks,
Yeah, challenger banks for sure. Lot of buzz around that.
So the difference is like, let me put what is the difference between a neobank and a challenger bank to start with, right? So neobank is something where you do not have the license to run the operation. So what you do is that you partner with an existing bank. Okay,
right.
You partner with an existing bank on top of their infrastructure, or on top of their you piggyback on their infrastructure, you piggyback on their license, and you build a better bank than what the existing banks in the market are, right? Whereas challenger banks or the banks who have a banking license, right? So, and why they're called challenger banks? Because they're really challenging the existing traditional elephants. Why? I hope there are no bankers in this webinar. So there is this wide difference. They're challenging these banks, so that's the reason they're called challenger banks, right? And again, in digital banks, digitalized banks and virtual banks, it's all about cutting costs on customer acquisition and trying to acquire the customers through online, cutting costs on customer acquisition, and trying to provide all the features what the traditional standalone bank used to do. They're doing that online right? Before you used to check the statement on a paper, now you're doing it on the app. Before you used to deposit money in an account in a branch, now you're transferring money, right? So those are digitalized banks. They are not even digital banks. So how neobank is different from all this, right? So there's a lot of difference. If I say neobank and challenger banks or neobanks and challenger banks are more kind of cousins, I will say, and the other banks, or it's like it's just the other digital banks or virtual banks. All about neobanks are better than them. That's what I would say.
So if I put this right, so when we have to define neobanks, we're talking about digital platforms which are working in partnership with the license of a traditional privatized bank. And when we talk about challenger banks, they are pure play digital banks who are working on their own license depending upon the geography that they're operating in. So basically, if you're in UK, Europe, you have the provision to launch a pure play digital bank with their own license. Whereas if you talk about India, we don't have that ability to launch a licensed bank, and we have to work in partnership with the traditional private bank or state bank to actually come up with banking products, and that's where neobanks come in play, right?
Perfect. That's exactly what it is.
So so when we're talking about that they're working in partnership with banks, so how do we make them different from the traditional banks that we have, the private banks we have? What is that key value prop that neobanks have which our traditional banks are unable to fulfill?
The question is more like how neobank and traditional banks
Mm-hmm.
are they differ, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's quite simple. You know, banks are more product focused, right? I
Okay.
want to sell certain number of credit cards. I want to, I want to sell certain number of loans. I want to sell certain number of things to the user. So there is the reason you
Right.
always get this calls where everyone hates. Do you need a credit card? Do you need a loan? That kind of calls,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at this stage of technological advance, you don't really even have to call anyone if they need a credit card, right? It's more about, but
Mm-hmm.
banks are not even they're not even consumer focused, right? The existing banks, what they do is that they give you an option to get your deposit, okay, and
Uh-huh.
to transfer money, or they give you a card to spend. But none of the banks really understand the user, understand
Right.
what are the spending patterns, what is the behavior, what
Mm-hmm.
is the risk appetite. Even if they understand all the user behavior, they don't really focus on using the data to help the user. They use the data to
Right.
sell.
Exactly. True.
But
Yeah.
what in neobanks? I don't know about other neobanks, but here in Finland, what we are doing is that we are building a consumer focused, saving first, digital only bank where we understand the user patterns, where we understand the user behavior, where we understand the risk appetite, and we provide hyper personalized banking so the users can
Mm-hmm.
manage, save, and invest their money in a proper way. Okay.
Right.
So to keep it in a much simpler way, what I will say is
Uh-huh.
like, if two people, two friends working in the same company, drawing the same salary, they are the same age group. One person is single and another person is married and with a kid, right? And he have a kid.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the bank will, so the bank divides the customers into two brackets: age bracket and income bracket, right?
Right. Yeah.
For just both of these users are of the same bracket.
Mm-hmm.
But for a neobank, what we do is that we understand that one person is single, he have a kid and he's married. So we understand we don't put them in one bracket. We
Mm-hmm.
think every user is different because everybody's
Mm-hmm.
financial journey is different. So we understand
Right.
the patterns, their needs, their necessities, and we provide hyper personalized banking. So that's what most of the neobanks do. But I think
Mm-hmm.
we do it much better.
So when you say that you're doing it much better, and you're saying that you're creating this gamified personas of each customer that you have, so you've done that once, and you get the customer, the customer gets engaged with the product, and the customer feels, yes, it's amazing. But then how do you maintain that continuous customer engagement? Because one of the things that I think what neobanks fail to do, and it's actually happening when you look at the ones which are abroad, UK, Europe, they're going into extra service charges, they're changing their service mechanisms, they're changing their charging mechanisms, is only because they're not able to sustain themselves. And the sustainability is not happening because the customers are not getting engaged, and there's a very high switching cost. So I'm sorry, there's a very high switching propensity for the customers because the options are there. So how do you think that you're going to achieve that kind of customer engagement?
So what I will say here is that I will put you one example. We are
Mm-hmm.
not an e-commerce company, okay,
Right.
where once we deliver the product to your doorstep, our journey finishes. No, our journey
Mm.
starts when the customer opens an account, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. What's happening right now with the neobanks in Europe, whether whatever things you mentioned, I totally agree with you because they're running a product in a zero or negative interest market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there is no concept of mutual funds. There is no concept of wealth management. There is no concept of lending. There is no concept of the interest focus or value focus for this. The only thing they can do, whether it can be neobank or challenger banks in Europe, right?
Right.
The only thing they can do is that they can build a proper online bank where you can open an account instantly, okay,
Uh-huh.
and where
Yeah.
there are no fees. The transparency. That is the only thing they can do because they cannot issue a mutual fund. They cannot
Mm-hmm.
issue another product. But in India, most of the people they say that India is underbanked, but for
Yeah.
certain segments it's overbanked.
Okay.
right? So, and we are not living in a country where there is zero interest or negative interest. So there is a lot of ways. There is a lot of ways to. There is a lot of ways for the user to. We can engage the user, not just about gamification and opening the account, right? And but there
Right.
is a lot of problems to solve here, right? Most of the
Right.
people, they are living paycheck to paycheck. They are living EMI to EMI. Most of the people, they do not even have proper tools or proper financial education to properly save the money, right? Forget about
Right.
forget about mutual funds. Even if I can help someone save 1,000 rupees a month, where they can
Mhm.
where they can invest the 1,000 rupees in an SIP, I will be I'll be more than happy. And
Right.
we can do it. We can do it in India, and we will
Mhm.
do it. There are a lot of options for that.
Interesting. So when you say that you're able to make your customer save that $1,000, so how do you think that you are actually bucketing your customers, right? So generally, how do you define a customer's financial journey? Where do you think the start point comes, and where do you think the end point? How are you and how do you plan to actually support that customer journey end to end?
I divide the customers into three kinds of segments. One is
Right.
spenders,
Mm-hmm.
savers, and
Right.
borrowers.
Right.
Right. So I want to start with the customer bucketing into the spenders more. Right.
Right.
Everybody orders Swiggy. Everybody orders Swiggy. Everybody orders Zomato. Right. I want to segment this customer. How many times a guy is ordering Swiggy? 6 times a week. Yeah.
Right.
And if I identify that this guy is ordering 6 times a week and he doesn't
Mhm.
have a Swiggy super, I can tell him that, dude, why don't you take a Swiggy super so you can save money on delivery charges. So at least
Right.
I'm not telling him to order less than 6 times. I don't want him to change his lifestyle habits. I want him to
Hmm.
continue his lifestyle habits, but we will find a way to save him money, right?
Right.
And once they start saving, right? Once they
Mhm.
start seeing how they can manage their money properly, right?
Right.
What we do is that we suggest them to start saving,
Right.
right? So spenders to savers.
Savers.
And then there
Yes.
is another segment, borrowers who are living paycheck to paycheck, EMI to EMI, and
Right.
help them to cut their credit, help them to cut their debt on their head, and then move into their savings. Once I move the spenders and once I move the borrowers into the savings segment, that's when we will go into the wealth management, right? People,
Right.
the problem in India or problem anywhere, they think is that
Hmm.
investing money, you can invest money only when you have tax and tax of it. No, you can
Yeah.
start an SIP with 100 rupees. So that's what I want to
Mm.
show them. Okay, it's like,
Right.
I want to be that. I want to be that your nosy neighbor who wants to buzz you every day that save money, save money, save money. So that's what I want to do.
I mean, that's super interesting when you talk about like people have such like conservative mindset when it comes to investing. So only when they think that they have a certain amount of money that they will go and explore. And what I think that a majority of the audience as a challenge feels is that they struggle to identify which is the right mechanism for them to save or to invest or to manage their money. And that's where I feel that the traditional banks more or less struggle because they're not able to provide that targeted proposition. What I think that neobanks will I mean, I'm bullish on the fact that they're going to service. While I say that I'm going to be bullish about that, I also see that there are swarm of these in the market, and there are a lot of neobanks coming in play, whether in India or I talk about Asia Pacific. So I know 40 plus neobanks operating currently in Asia Pacific. So how do you think that there's going to be a sustainability, and how do you think that everybody will be able to maintain a mark in the market because you know we see a lot of failures also happening at the same time.
Look, it's how we can how all these people can sustain, or there's a lot of hype, right? It's about identifying the problem, right? It's not just
Right.
building for the sake of building, right? It's
Mhm.
not it's not just the hype of adding neobank to your
Mhm.
product, so you can be doing it. It's not just
Right.
about giving a card or giving a weekly funds or anything. There are a lot in India. There are a lot of options over there, but it's
Mhm.
all about how you can build a proper foundation on banking, Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
which we cannot really do because we do not have the license, right? But if we can
Right.
use our resources well, if we can partner with the right banks, and if we can do the better partnership, what we can do is that we can build in such a way that
Mm-hmm.
everyone should understand what the user needs, right? And
Right.
simplify it. Don't
Yeah.
never complicate it. Simplify it. Bring value. It's not about metal cards. It's not about 2% discounts. It's not about how many cashbacks I'm going to give you, how many vouchers
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you. It's not about that. It's if you can bring a value to the user, right?
Right.
If you say that dude, I will help you to you invest some money. I'll help you to save some money so you can start investing. That kind of
Right.
promise. If you can bring value to the user, I think there will be nothing to worry about. That it will be stagnated, or it will be everything. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it's about bringing value to the user and understanding the user and building the right code.
I agree. So when you say that bringing value to the user, so what happens is with customers, and I've explored that in my research when I've taken customer surveys, is that people don't want to shift from their traditional bank to a new age neobank. And the primary reason would be, I would suggest to, in that case, would be number one, that their family loyalty lies with that particular bank. So everybody in their family, from their mother, father, sister, brother, spouse, everybody has an account, so they're following that entire herd and also opening an account, and they don't want to shift because the loyalty lies there. The number two would be that they worry about the security, that a traditional bank is operating from so many particular years, it has an infrastructure, it's backed by the regulator of the country. How am I able to build a like trust with it? Not a neobank, I would say, like a technology company, because we operate like a technology company. So how do you think that we're going to be able to offset these challenges and combat these hindrances, or what I would say is like challenges in the mindset of the customer, while we're trying to do such cool things and actually give them more than what they get from their traditional bank? But again, we struggle because they are themselves not willing to shift.
Yeah, I think there are two questions here. Number one and number two. Okay,
Yeah.
if you think about the number one, I think there will be no phone pay, Paytm, or Google Pay in India. Okay,
Right.
even the kids are asking their parents to get on Google Pay or Phone Pay, so they
Right.
can start using the UPI. So I think the first question is more like the new generation of the new digital only, mobile only people are convincing the old people to join into the bandwagon of digital payments, right? So I
Right.
don't think that's really worrying, because
Mm.
you see right now India is a country where everybody wants to try everything, right? I
Right.
want to try this. I want to try it. I want to experiment it. I want to do this. And
Right.
surprisingly, I've been living in Europe for like last 16 years. I think
Mhm.
the conversion rate to the technology is higher in India than Europe, because
Yeah.
you know uh, before, uh, there are 80% of the people in India, they never had
Mm.
a landline, but they jumped
Mm.
onto the mobile directly, right?
Right. Yeah.
There are 97% of people never had a pager, they jumped onto the mobile,
Mm.
right? And around 90% of the people, they never had a card, either debit card
Right.
or credit card.
Right.
Those populations, they directly jumped into wallet,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
right? So
That
certain
definitely. That was
generations,
revolutionizing, actually.
yeah, that certain generations, they skip certain technology.
Right.
Right. So this is the same thing happening. It's going to happen with neobanks, right? This
Yeah.
generation, these people will convince the parents. So
Mm-hmm.
I heard few stories. I talked to few people telling me, "Dude, I told my mom to change the account because she was tired of SBI. She's tired of the
Mm-hmm.
public sector banks or any other bank. I don't want to name them. So she's
Right.
like, people are convinced, right? So that question of one, the first question is totally false, and the trust. I totally agree with you. There is a
Mm-hmm.
huge barrier. There is a huge issue of trust here. So,
Yes.
so I don't know about other neobanks, but what I tell my users, or what we are focused is like,
Mm-hmm.
don't trust me. Don't trust me with your keeping 10 lakhs in my account. Don't trust me to put all your savings in my account. Trust me with using my account as your day-to-day account.
Right.
right? If you have 5 lakhs in your account, don't move that money to my account. Use use my account
Mm.
as a daily to pay the bills, as a day to
Mm.
day account. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
I will show you the value, and I will build the trust by when they start using it. We will build the
Right.
trust. So that's what we are focusing. I'm not promising. I'm not even
Mm.
expecting my users
Mm.
or any users in India
Yeah.
using a neobank as a primary bank. Neobank will
Mm.
be a secondary bank for a certain period of time, and we have to convince and build the trust and build the brand to convince the user that we are trustworthy. So
Right.
I am not promising you that I will help you to retire in the next 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and where you can retire in a perfect beach, sipping your mojito there. But I can promise you that I will help you to save that enough money so you can travel to that perfect beach and have the service.
I hope that happens soon. We're giving the scenario of COVID that we are able to take that holiday.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
that's
it's not just about the holiday. It's
huh,
about I will help you to buy that iPhone 12, which they change
mm,
every year without
right.
taking a loan or EMI.
Uh,
There's
yeah,
a lot of things going.
awesome. So,
We have to build the trust. We have to build it.
exactly. I think that trust will be incremental. It won't come like immediately. And I definitely agree to your point that neobanks will first start off as secondary banks to take their own course of time to become primaries. So, and I think there's a very interesting point that you made over here that you want your customers to use it on a daily basis so that you're able to understand the customer, how it's operating on a daily basis, and like have that build of the personality of your user on a daily basis and then create products around it. I think that's an amazing thought that so with that I just want to ask you this, like when you talk about these happening digitally, you talk about having a different infrastructure supporting that. How is a digital infrastructure of a traditional bank differing from a new bank? Like people always say that I have a traditional bank's app. Why do I need another bank's app? What is it going to provide me? I mean, I'm just clouding my mobile phone with different apps.
What is your bank giving you?
Sorry.
What is your bank giving you? Let me put that question to you.
So what my bank is giving me basic services. I mean, I struggle with making a call for each and every thing that I need to get it done. It's just I can only see it in terms of okay, this is my account balance. I can do a fund transfer, and that's about it. When you have that niche thing that you want to
That is the
do,
thing.
you have to call. That's the
That is the
worst.
thing. There is the answer itself. You are depending. The bank is giving you the basic thing, but
Right.
we don't give you the basic thing. We give the things which you need, right?
Right.
We make sure that you don't have to call any agent. That's what I was telling my customer success
Mm.
department. I don't call it customer support department. I call it customer success department. That's what I'm telling my customer success department, that I should never receive a call from the customer.
Yeah.
Simple, because it's all about how you can make sure that every do it yourself, right? We can
Mm.
make sure that it's seamless, it's everything, and it's not just
Mm.
about the transferring money. It's not just about the receiving your salary. It's not about that.
Right.
It's what what a bank can give you, because
Mm.
there is nothing savings about savings bank in India right now,
Right.
right? So, but what we are trying to do is that we really want to bring value. How you can see, look, right now the credit, the transaction statements,
Mm.
the bank statements in a mobile app of any bank, you need a
Mhm.
nuclear science degree to understand,
Right.
right?
It's true that.
Yeah. If you do a UPI transaction 2 days before
Mm.
and you're checking it today, you do not even understand where you paid that UPI transaction.
Agreed. Yeah.
But in our case, in Finin case, what we are doing is that we are trying to grow granular
Mm.
level. Okay, we are trying
Right.
to use our user base, and we are trying to do it in such a way that you can clearly understand that you bought a cigarette next door paying
Mm.
UPI, or you
Right.
had that one cup of tea for 10 rupees or 15 rupees with UPI. So
Mm.
we show you clearly transparent
Mm.
customer support. You know.
Right.
Helping you save. These are the things which we bring. Then giving the
Mm.
basic features like you mentioned.
Awesome. So, Suman, what do you think is going to be the growth opportunity for neobanks if we had to look for the next 5 years? How do you think? How do you like give quantify the growth opportunity for you as a neobank and for new banking market? I would say.
if we can solve certain niche problems of the user, there is huge need, and there is enough pie on the table where
Mm.
there is share. Like take one bank example. So you
Mm.
take any bank. Uh,
Right.
each product of a bank is a unicorn. You take a credit card department, you take a debit card department, you take
Right.
savings and everything, salary accounts. Each
Mm.
is like, right. So we have to focus on something and solve it in a better way. And
Right.
we are doing that on the savings side. And
Awesome.
once
Yes.
we help you to save the savings side, we will look into the wealth management, how to invest. I want our users to be financially independent and economically stable, and
Right.
that's what we are trying for. So the growth is enormous, right? But
Mm.
again, the growth is very quantitative. Whether the growth in the
Mm.
number of users, or whether the growth in the deposits you take, or
Mm.
the growth in the amount of money you help your users to save, it's
Right.
everything. If I have hundred
Yeah.
thousand users and I'm not helping the users to save at least 100 rupees each, but where I
Mm.
have only 10,000, I'm helping them to save 10,000 each. There's it's a qualitative and quantitative kind of thing, right? So
True.
we
I
really
agree.
have to see. It all depends
Yeah.
on the traction, the customer traction we are getting,
Yeah.
the value of bringing to the user. So
Yeah.
I think I can answer this question of growth in
Mm.
next 6 months.
Definitely. So, like then I would say that my last question to you would be that what do you think is going to be like the roadmap for Finin for the next 12 to 24 months? How do we see it? Like we know you're on the building phase now, so but how do you span your next 12 to 24 months?
So what we're doing is that right now our focus is more on building the user, customer traction, okay, building getting the user on, and not providing the basic features, right? So the basic features are already there,
Right.
transactions, sending money and everything. But
Mhm.
once we onboard our users on the private beta or public beta, what we're trying to do is that we are trying to test, iterate, and understand what the user needs, or based on
Mhm.
what we built already. We don't ask our
Right.
users what to build, because we do our research alone, right? So
Right.
we know what to build, and then we discuss with the users. And our all these people on this Zoom call right now, I'm scared of them more than my investors, because you have to understand my collaborator group of WhatsApp group of our users, and they give me sleepless nights, right? So we are trying to build a product they understand, and help them to
Mm.
save money. And my
Right.
goal right now is to make sure that the user saves enough money, whether it can be
Mm.
100 rupees. If somebody is not saving even a single rupee, somebody can save 100 rupees a month. That's a big achievement for me, right? So
Right.
we want to
Yeah.
focus on saving, and managing the money, okay, and then
Right.
down the line we want to get into wealth management, okay. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I'll get into lending, because uh,
Mm.
lending is, if it's a very disciplined lending, that's what I call it. It's perfect,
Yeah.
but I don't want my users to lend money at 28%, 30%, or 32% kill a user. I want to
Yeah.
I want to make sure that they never have to lend money. That is my goal. All right. So what I
Exactly.
want to do
Yeah.
is that we are trying to focus on saving, and we are
Right.
trying to focus on wealth management, whether it can be mutual funds or recurring deposits or fixed deposits,
Right.
and based on that, and I want really our users to focus on building a habit, right? It's
True.
it's like
Yeah.
building a habit. I want my at least uh, 60% of my users should open my app every day in the night and check their finances,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
build a habit. I don't want this stigma of having. I don't want to look at my finances because I will be depressed or I will be scared. I don't want to do. I want my
Right.
users to build a habit of opening the app, build a habit of opening Finin, and doing
Mm.
certain steps where they can really improve their financial journey in a day-to-day life.
Right.
So that is
Yeah.
my focus for the next 10 to 12 months.
Awesome. So I think those are really interesting focus areas. And with that, I would like to take a few questions from the users that we have today. Guys, you can post that on the chat group, and then Saban and I will help answer your questions.
So guys, ask some questions, please.
Yeah, we're here to solve your queries and the myths and the worries.
Okay, so before the users ask the question, I
Yes.
want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Right?
Please go ahead.
As a research analyst, as a fintech expert, as a fintech research analyst, what is your view on neobanks and how bullish are you? And what do you think? That is one thing. And on the other side, right? On the other side, how you can, how as a user, what you think you want?
So I think so while I've been following neobanks and what I think neobanks need to ensure is that their value prop needs to be absolutely laid down clearly. Like what I've understood is that as a user, customers struggle to fulfill their customer journeys, and at some point of time they get frustrated and they are disengaged with their banking proposition. That's the reason that there's no incentivization for me saving money, me saving exploring new products, me out and making that effort, because I get frustrated because I don't find those kind of comparative analysis until and unless I'm very like passionate about, oh my god, I need to do saving. But not everybody in today is so passionate about it, right? You need to push these things to come in, because as a millennial mindset, you would be like, okay, fine, I will spend, I will live on the edge, but I would not uh, go into that hassle of going from one bank to another to find out, okay, fine, this gives me the right saving mechanism, and this gives me the right interest, and these are the propositions that they have. And at most they don't want to talk to a customer executive, hello, we're trying to sell you, so on and so forth. So definitely what I think that what neobanks are bringing in, they're bringing in a new aged face, front runner face, and trying to solve those journeys which are not working well with the traditional privatized. And that's the reason why these banks now have become those challenger banks which are working very well outside and are giving tough competition, like the likes of Revolut, Monzo, Starling. These guys are giving tough competition to even traditional banks, I would say. So my whole idea is that I'm super bullish about neobanks, but I want the neobanks to have a very targeted approach, the kind of customer segment that they want to target at. The reason why I say that, because when Hong Kong came up with their virtual banking licenses, they did not have the clue that, okay, I need to give a wholesale banking license or I need to give a retail banking license. Left it to the banks to figure it out that, okay, do the pilot runs and see what kind of customer you want to target. And that is a challenge, because that took the licenses were granted 2 years back, and still they are in their pilot phase. The first 6 months of operation, they've still not gone full-fledged live. And looking at that, we had Singapore coming in, okay, fine, we'll divide that, and we'll protect the interest of the customer as well as the player who's getting into the market. I know India is not that mature and is not coming up with that, but creators of those neobanks need to think about the fact that which segment that they want to get into, and have that targeted approach about it. And once they do, I think having that niche will definitely make them sustain and grow, because people are looking for those kind of options. Nobody wants to struggle with their current propositions that they have.
Totally. I think you put it totally well. And finding the right position, finding the right target segment and thing is what is going to make it. I think there are a few questions coming in, so let me check with Akhil. Yeah, you mentioned that you will not be focusing on loans, but then things like buying a home can't be done without loans for most people. Again, I will make sure that you save enough to at least pay the deposit to take a loan. Right, you're not going to get the 100% home loan. You'll be getting 90% or 85%. We will help you to save that 15% or 10% of money, so you can put an upfront payment and you get your home. That's what we are. And yes, bad score with the Equifax and good score with experience. Yeah, we are working on this. We are working on this to see what is good for the user. But I think we can do that only once users start using it. Right, and this is a very good feature request, and we will sure look into it. Akhil, we will get onto it with you offline, and we can discuss. And the second question, Dhruv Balwa. One major problem that there is. Yes, So, guys, the interesting thing is that we are aggregating everything into one. So you don't have to juggle between multiple apps to see your mutual funds. Okay, gold, stocks, insurance, I cannot really promise right now, but we are aggregating all your all your existing accounts and mutual funds and PPF and EPF into our app. So you will have a central view, holistic view of all your finances in one place. So you don't have to juggle between it. So this is under development. We are trying to push this by the time we go live. I cannot promise it will be in our private beta, but yes, we are almost there. And Drew, I think you will be our user for sure. So I'm already
I
a
think
money saver.
Alex also has a very interesting. He says that he's already a money saver. So how can Finan make their life better? Like a person who's already a saver who has figured it out.
Like Tupac says, show me more money. I'll more money. I'll help you to save more. That's what I'll say. If you already, it's not just about saving money, right? It's good. You're already having a very good habit of saving money. So how about me understanding you and telling you what is the best way to invest or what is the best way to do that, right? Saving money is not just about putting 10% or 20% or 30% of your salary into a savings account. It's all about how you can save money without reducing your lifestyle, and we will help you that of helping you save more money by giving you better high performance.
Awesome. Okay, so let's take the last question and then close it with someone's parting thoughts and messages for their users. So, the last question is from Bruno, and he says that he's an NRI and like me, he can use your app and bank. How can he register?
Bruno, how can I register for beta without LinkedIn? Right? I think LinkedIn, and we put it more on a kind of thing. But I will check with my marketing team, and I'll get back to you, Bruno, and make sure that you are on our wait list and you will be on our beta.
Awesome. So, Suman, what do you think would be your last message to your users and the listeners that we have today? And what should they be taking away from our conversation today?
Right. I think most of the people who are on this chat or in this webinar, they know what a neobank is, right? They know what a neobank is, and all these people are financially literate. Okay, but 98% of Indians are financially illiterate, and
right.
we can say we are engineers, we are doctors, we are designers, we are developers, but when coming to money, we are really we are clueless. Right? Because our parents tell you to save money, but they never tell you how to save money, right? Mm-hmm. So my thing is that we are here on a mission. We are here on a goal of ourselves of building a better banking to help our users to manage, save, and invest their money. Also, we making money. We are not doing this as a charity or NGO, that's for sure. So why don't you please share about Finan, and if you know at least two friends of yours who are bad with money, and asking them to join our waitlist and be part of it. So I don't want to say what we're building because we already know. So I request you to please share about Finan. I request you to please ask your friends to join Finan and help them to be better with money by using Finan. So please share, please retweet, please subscribe, and do everything. I know this is I'm doing a shameless plug, but when coming to Finan, I'm shameless. Please.
I think that's a very good way of putting it, that when it comes to Finan, I'm shameless about it. But yes, I just hope everybody who was listening to us today was able to understand what a neobank is and how a neobank can help you in your day-to-day life, and what's new about it, what's interesting, and what actually resonates with your lifestyle. And I think that's the lifestyle everybody's leading today. So great. Thank you, Suman, for this insightful conversation. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. I think not many questions here. I'm surprised that the WhatsApp group is going to explode once this is there. So I will ask my marketing team to work 24/7 today.
Awesome. I think that's amazing.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Vernika, and thanks for the excellent questions, and thanks for hosting this.
Thank you so much.
Everyone on this webinar, thanks a lot for joining, and please join and share and spread the word. Thank you.